Aiden from Doomcave. Welcome to Nightbreed. How's it going, man?
Yeah, really good. Just enjoying a nice chill Sunday. Haven't had much on this weekend, so just relaxing for once.
Cool. No,
Usually
good,
pretty busy.
yeah.
Yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah, good, man. Good. A few interviews, it's been good. Yeah. Woebegone was released 2017. Was Doomcave around much before that?
Not really. We had I was just kind of conceptualizing the project and trying to get something together in terms of just like all my equipment and stuff for recording. So obviously I've done it all by myself in the past. So we had like an EP on YouTube and didn't really push it that hard or anything. And Woebegone was kind of the first release that I actually put some PR behind, I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it didn't really have much of a presence then. It was just sort of like a studio project, just experimenting, and yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah,
kind of yeah.
What kind of sound were you after when you were starting out?
It definitely changed quite a bit. So originally, I wanted a sort of skeleton witch sound when I first started recording, and then it just completely kind of flipped and went into this weird synthy, sort of semi-depressive black metal, I guess. Sort of symphonic sounding, but I didn't really have very good plugins back in the day for doing symphonic stuff that was more synthy. Yeah, kind of just went with it, and from the get-go just let it develop on its own, and just whatever it ended up sounding like, and then just using that as the strength, I guess, for the sound, and then building everything around that to fit. Is kind of how I approached it.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, it's one of the second one you brought out in 2018, Inferno, based on Dante's Divine Comedy. What inspired you to sort of do more of a concept album?
I guess I was again with the getting more expensive equipment, more expensive plugins and stuff that sounded a bit more real, a bit more like strings and brass and all that kind of thing. And I thought, the classical music sort of vibe just really suited a concept album sort of style. And yeah, I just thought it was like, I've always been a fan of sort of biblical lore and stuff. Like I'm not religious at all, but it's always like appealed to me, all of the sort of dark side of things, or the not really like Satanism, but just the dark side of the biblical stories and the brutality of some of them and that kind of thing. It all just kind of fit a concept album sort of vibe for that one.
Yeah, cool. And you got guests on that one, yeah?
Yeah, I had guests on most of the early stuff, and that one was probably, no offense to the other guys that have on all the other songs, but I really liked the Cam's guitar solo from Cam from Silent Night. It was super cool. It was like really privileged to have that on there. And then like a lot of friends, my mum sings on the last track of the album as well. So there's like a bit of a family thing going on there as well. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, that one. Yeah, that was after White Morning Light. White Morning Light came before that.
Yeah, and then 2020 you bring out a double album. Like, did you just have a lot of songs up your sleeve, or did you go out, thinking you wanted to do a double album when you were writing?
That one, I'd always liked the idea of doing double albums, probably the main reason. And then also I had a lot of personal stuff going on where I just needed it just sort of needed to be channeled out. So I had like a lot of stuff I wanted to put to paper, so to speak. And I didn't really want to, because I knew I wanted to do a lot of ballads and softer stuff, just to test the waters with all of that. But I didn't really want to put it all in amongst all of the black metal sort of pumping songs, I guess. And also I sort of knew that I was eventually going to sort of take it to a live setting. So the Illumination side, I just wanted to be suitable for live shows, and we play a lot of those songs live now. I just wanted them to be like foot stompers, I guess, and yeah, so that's kind of how I decided to split the album up. Yeah, and then the Sundering was just like a whole lot of personal crap that I really needed to get out, and yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Worked out pretty well, I thought. And just kind of keeps it separate for the listeners, and yeah, so if you don't like all the ballads, you can just ignore it.
Yeah. So how did you go about getting, going from a solo project to a band? Were the band members people you knew already?
Yeah, it was quite easy because the guys in Doomcave, also Rafa Fenrir, were two of them, Jesse and Herb, the drummer and bass player, and they're just so easy to work with, and it's just a natural fit, and they both really wanted to do it. So as soon as they kind of got wind of me taking it to a live sort of environment, they put their foot in the door basically, and yeah, it just was a natural fit. And then Jacob on guitars was an old high school mate of mine, so we've been friends since we were what age are you in year 6, like 10, 11 or something? So yeah, we've known each other for quite a while, and then yeah, we're sort of looking at getting a new guitarist now. We're not really sure who yet, but we're sort of taking some, just or trying some people out and just seeing how it goes and stuff. But yeah, it all kind of fit together really naturally, going live.
Yeah, cool. Has the writing changed? Like, are you still writing everything, or are the other members sort of giving you some input?
I'm definitely doing the majority of the in terms of putting the song together, so the songwriting aspect of it. So we're writing a full-length album at the moment. So what I've done is I've written the album in terms of the structure and the vibe that it's got, the sort of the themes, and then I've sent it to Herb, and he's demoed all the drums and rewritten and retracked and sort of put his spin on it. And then obviously each member does the same thing basically. So I'll give it to Jacob, and then he'll throw down a whole bunch of leads on top of it, and yeah, so that's how we wrote Genesis. The first track from Genesis was done that way. So yeah, and it works really well. So it kind of keeps the vision of the project on the straight and narrow, and keeps it all coherent with what we've released previously. And yeah, it works really well. The guys just enjoy that sort of casual approach as well, where they don't have to like think too much about the songwriting, because they've all got their own projects that other bands they're in, and so it's less time consuming for them that way as well. So that works quite well.
Cool. So yeah, July 3rd, Genesis came out this year. That artwork on the front's pretty cool looking. How'd that come together?
That's a design of mine. I was sort of, because Genesis is all about new beginnings, and it's a sort of, in a dark way, I guess. So like the album cover is kind of this being that's kind of a sort of a cosmic being that's been like born from the stars, and he's coming up out of this like lake thing, and he's kind of birthing, and he's got a star exploding inside of him, and yeah, just kind of this sort of really visceral theme that I wanted to have for it, and I just wanted a really bright sort of cover as well. So yeah, a lot of like gold and stuff on it, and oranges, and sort of warm. Yeah, didn't want something too bleak.
Yeah, cool. Going backwards a little bit, what first got you into black metal?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I definitely, in high school, I only knew one black metal song, and it was the Serpentine Offering by Dimmu Borgir, and I thought that was ridiculously cool, just like all the orchestral and stuff. But I never really got into black metal fully, like into other black metal bands, especially all the sort of the cult sort of that true black metal stuff. I got into probably when I was about 22. I just like saw that documentary, the Until the Light Takes Us, and saw all the sort of stories behind it, stuff that really intrigued me, and then sort of just went on this exploring music on Spotify and all that back in the day, and ended up into a lot of the sort of more avant-garde, experimental, artistic black metal is where I really that's most of the black metal I listen to, is that sort of thing. A lot of like the post black metal, like sort of atmospheric, post rocky stuff. Yeah, is kind of what I like. I think it's, as a genre in or subgenre in metal, I think it's really matured really well compared to some other genres, and just like has so much space in it to explore new sounds and incorporate new things in it, because it's always got that sort of ethereal, like imaginative sort of aspect to it, fantasy almost, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. So Doomcave, you've played shows, yeah? That must have been cool, like you know, playing your shows in front of people rather than just recording, yeah?
Yeah, it's been really cool, and we've had a good response that people are liking it. I think we've achieved, because it's quite difficult to mix, I guess, because there's so much going on in it. But I think we've got quite a good sound, and we're doing it justice live. It's kind of tricky. The vocals are very hard to perform, so playing guitar and doing the vocals has been pretty intense. But as soon as we get a new guitarist in, that'll change, and I'll be able to do them justice as well. Hit more of those sort of like tonal screams and the clean singing and that kind of thing that is kind of inserted here and there. Be a lot easier to do once I'm hands-free. I can focus on it more. But yeah, I think like the shows have been insane, and we've had a lot of lucky opportunities. Managed to get on some quite decent lineups. I think like our second show was Amplifier with like Ashen, Woe Warden, Fura, and yeah, it was a huge show. Awesome for a second show. So we've been really lucky with the shows we've managed to get on as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So, do you have any more shows coming up, like booked?
Yeah, we've got one next week, next Friday. Is Friday the 13th. That's at the Rechabite, and that Wrath of Fenrir played last year, and it was an insane venue just to play. It's like I don't know if you've been to the Rechabite before. There's a big theatre hall with a stage, and they got pyrotechnics on stage, and like there's another stage down the back with strippers dancing in cages and cabaret and fire twirlers and like all kinds of like crazy stuff on it. It's like really cool event. It goes till like 2 in the morning, so that's a really fun one. And then we've got Halloween Pornography later on in the year as well, and another show with Enforce for their Deep Blue album launch as well, which is in September, I think 3rd or 4th, I think, of September. So yeah, there's a few shows coming up this year as well. Yeah,
nice, that's cool. And you said you're working on a new album. Do you have sort of a date in mind, or are you just kind of plugging away?
Yeah, we've still got a schedule going. We kind of want to see, it'll definitely be tracked before, well, at the start of next year it should be done in terms of tracking, because Herb is also doing an album with Woe Warden, and he wants to be done with this one so he can focus on that as well later on. So we've kind of got that deadline to meet with at least the drums, but I'm a pretty solid worker with recording and mixing and everything, so should all be tracked, and then hopefully a release mid next year, late next year, maybe like the same sort of time that Genesis came out, but next year. So like, yeah, July, August or something like that.
Awesome. Good. Cool. Yeah. Look, I look forward to hearing it, Aidan. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on, and yeah, have a go on, man.
Yeah, awesome. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers.
There we go.